Good afternoon everybody, it's Paul here from Rio Driving School. I'm going to do yet another driving test route around Featherstone. We're going to be going left and taking the first road on the left. So follow along, I'm going to try and teach you as much as I can. Okay, off we go. Putting that left signal on, ready, looking up and down the road, it's all clear, off we go. We're taking the first road on the left. Remember, we're on a national speed limit road now, but you can't go too quick just until you get round this corner. Okay, mirrors, and now loads of gas, lots of gas now. And into third, try and avoid the potholes where possible. I'm just going to take a little bit of the middle of the road here. Mirrors, you can see the road surface is a little bit like a patchwork quilt. I'm just going to go round potholes. It's perfectly okay to do that, of course. As we come round the bend, it's looking like we're going to be turning right shortly. So yeah, we can be gathering speed, but just shortly around the corner we've got our 30-mile-an-hour speed restriction. You must be doing 30 as you reach 30, of course. So now that we're in the 30-mile-an-hour speed restriction, we're going to stick to that for a while until we see otherwise. We're taking the next road on the right, so mirrors. And just taking our time as we come around the corner. Signals going on. Do not cut the corner here. Looking for accuracy on your driving test. Mirrors. Sometimes you're asked to pull over on the left somewhere safe up here. There aren't many places. I wouldn't pull over just here because you're going to be potentially too close to that junction there, and rule 243 of the highway code is do not stop or park within 10 meters of a junction. If you can't find a suitable place to pull over, then say so. I think this place on the left just now would be the best place to stop if you had to. Anyway, we're taking the next road on the left, some mirrors, signals going on, and coming around the corner. Take your time with this. It's a built-up area, there's lots of parked cars all over the place, and be mindful of pedestrians, particularly children, running into the road. Keep your eye on junctions that become active. Check that right mirror as I come around the lorry. I'm looking underneath the lorry as I'm starting to position out. I'm looking for movement coming towards me. And yeah, just taking our time up here. Again, sometimes you'll be asked to pull over somewhere safe. Remember, don't pull over where you're going to be blocking anyone's driveway, and of course avoid all the bus stops as well. Anyway, mirrors, turning right into first gear, looking both ways. I'm gonna go. I was just assessing whether I had time before that car reached me. And bringing it forward, we're going to go to the end of the road and then we're going to turn right. It's an interesting one, this little route here. It does catch a lot of people out. I'll explain why in just a moment. So looking onto the main road, really important that we do have a good look. We don't just pull out in front of another vehicle. We don't want to slow down anybody else on the main road. That could be dangerous. Up to the traffic lights, turn right. Now we've got to be careful that we don't position to turn right too early. There is a box junction up here, so read the rules about box junctions. Notice the sign. I'm just going to take my time now. The sign says Hilton Road turning right. If you are positioning to turn right too early, you should turn right before the traffic lights into the junction there. The danger, of course, here is the vehicles next to you that are overtaking. You cannot positioning this road until after the solid white line, which is just after the road on the right here. Now the signal can go on. Now we go into that right hand lane and we position. If you're doing your driving test early in the morning and perhaps there's a lot of traffic there, do not be tempted to position early there. Some examiners allow it, but if you want to play safe, stay to the left. And remember, there's a box junction back there as well, so do not position the car in that box junction. The difference between this box junction here, remember the rules on box junctions, you can position in the junction so long as your exit is clear, but the traffic lights here mean it's not going to be clear. If you were asked to turn right up here where there is a box junction, on the other hand, the only thing preventing you from turning right is the oncoming traffic. So assuming your junction that you're going, the road you're entering is clear, you may sit and wait in that box until it is clear for you to go. So it's subtly but very different. Anyway, continuing ahead. So this would be here, there's a box junction coming up here just by the traffic camera just there. Can you just see it on the road? You may position in that box and wait if you had to. Anyway, the route we're on today tells us to follow the road towards Wolverhampton. You can use either lane, of course. Look at the green road sign. Best to use the left lane though. There's less complications because remember, as you come off the roundabout, you're on a dual carriageway, and so you have to position on the left hand side of the road in lane 1. Lane 2 is purely for overtaking or turning right. Do not overcomplicate things on your driving test by being in that lane there. Just don't need to. So I'm checking the mirror, signalling for anybody else that's on the roundabout coming from one of the other exits. And we're just going to rest the engine, taking our time. It's just a 40-mile-an-hour road, nice and quiet today. Everything's nice and calm. We're going to follow the road ahead at the roundabout. I'm looking for reasons why I need to slow down. I can see a red one and another one. I'm going to be taking third gear here. Don't cross the roundabout in a straight line though. Follow your lane. So imagine there's a bin lorry next to you on the roundabout, and imagine you've got to allow enough room for that bin lorry in lane 2 to turn right. Don't be tempted to straight line roundabouts just yet. And we're going to do the same thing at the next roundabout, following the road ahead. So checking all my mirrors. It says slow on the road, so there's a hazard I might not be aware of up here somewhere. Could be the junction on the left there that may quickly change because the hedge is in the way and I can't see what's coming. So far so good. So going up the hill, we're not going to accelerate too much. Remember, we don't accelerate into the unknown. We're going to wait till the road opens up until we've got a bit more information. Okay, we've got a cyclist on the left, we've got one approaching mirror. I'm always checking the mirrors when I see activity, whether it be pedestrians or vehicles approaching, because we can't anticipate the what other road users are going to do. If that dog came loose on the lead and he ran into the road, I'd need to stop the car quickly if it was safe. So just taking our time. We've got several vehicles approaching. We've got the ambulance pulled up on the left there. He may need to reverse off the driveway quite quickly. So I'm checking my mirrors. I'm just staying a little bit close to the centre of the road here. Lets them see me, I can see them, and I'm a little bit further away from the problem if it does start to happen. All good. Junction coming up, one coming onto the main road mirror. Coming round the bend. Notice this is a very wide road, so we've got the Ghost Island going down the centre. Just separates out the traffic and helps us position for turning right. Mirror. and as we come round here we can see we're going to be turning right shortly. I like this junction because the solid white line, which we must not cross of course, is really highlighted by the red tarmac here, so that makes life a lot easier. You can see the van's just driven straight through it there. We need to position left and then go into the protected area for the right turn. The red one's letting us go. That was nice, thank you. Mirrors and into 3. Yes, don't go driving straight through the solid white line. It could be dangerous if there's another vehicle coming in the opposite direction. If they wish to turn right also, you're going to be in their way. So the lines are there for a reason, obey them. Taking our time along here. It's a 30-mile-an-hour speed restriction. I'm just taking my time, going a little bit slower than that. It's a well built up area, can't quite see very much around this bend here. Lots of pedestrian activity today. Other drivers seem to be going a little bit faster, so I'm just being a little bit more defensive. We're going to be following the road ahead at the mini roundabout. This is one I see a lot of people using a left signal once they've passed lane 1. Absolutely no point in doing that at all. We don't need to signal to come off a mini roundabout when we're following the road ahead. I'm just checking my mirrors though. I'm looking for the vulnerable road users, i.e. people on 2 wheels. Mirrors, a little bit of acceleration now. 3rd gear and 30 miles an hour. We got slow on the road, and that's probably because there's an entrance to the cemetery that is just starting to come into view now. Keep in mind the pedestrians there. There's a young person with them, and as we just bring the car around the bend, we're going to be going down the dip and left at the roundabout shortly. Keeping my eye on the vehicle behind me. We've got slow on the road again, so let's have a look together and see if we can work it out. Yep, there's an entrance there to the right that someone may be coming out of. We're turning left, so mirror, signal, giving the brake lights to the one behind just to show them that we're slowing down. I don't like late signals. I'm not sure where the grey one's going. Okay, so if you don't know, don't go. Mirrors, and then coming along this road, remember strictly 30 still. We've not seen any other road signs or markings to indicate otherwise. It's a beautiful wide road, and we have a slight downhill gradient further on. Don't let the car gather speed along here. Okay, there's lots of signs, lots of slows on the road. There's a school crossing sign as well, so be aware of all of that. I can see pedestrian activity. There's a lady wanting to cross the road in between the parked cars. She's actually getting into her vehicle now. There's one approaching. Mirror. We're going to be taking the next road on the right, Hellier Road it's called. Mirrors. Holding my position out, and now I'm tucking it in, looking into the new road. Always look into the new road to give you advance warning of any problems. Mirror checks to see what's going on behind, and I'm just again very narrow, so we're going to keep it nice and slow. Into 3rd, but I'm just covering the brake here. I'm ready to react if somebody steps out. I'll just bring the car down. Got pedestrian activity on the left and the right there. Rough road surface. We're going to get to the end of the road, I think, and then we're going to be turning left. So mirrors, signal. Notice I'm always going through the same routine: mirror, signal, manoeuvre, mirror, signal, manoeuvre. That's the backbone of driving. It's the routine the examiner is going to be assessing you on your test, the application and execution of mirror, signal, manoeuvre. So just taking our time along this little narrow road. We're going to get up to a very unusual little roundabout in a moment, so we're going to have a look at that together. I'm going to take that a little bit slower than I would usually. So we're going along something called School Lane. We've got pedestrian activity on the right. I'm just keeping a wary eye on them. We're going to be turning right at the roundabout. A lot of people get confused by that sign, but just look at the sign on the bollards saying proceed in the direction of the arrow. So we're going to put the right signal on and we're going to proceed left because we go roundabouts clockwise, remember. Signal's going on again, and as we come round the corner, I'm glad to see there's traffic there, because look, we've got a give way here. We don't see it all that often, but they do occur. We've got give way in front of us and we have to give way to all traffic on the main road. Mirrors, a little bit of acceleration, and we're going to go down to those traffic lights. We're going to be following the road ahead at these traffic lights today. Sometimes we're asked to turn right, which is interesting because in that situation we will be going offside to offside. Remember, normally when we're turning right at crossroads it's near side to near side, but look at the lane markings there. Can you see the arrows on the road there? We will be going around the back of the vehicle coming towards us that would also be turning right. So if that blue one in front of us was turning right to go up this road here, we would be going around the back of them, which is a little bit more unusual. It does sometimes catch people out. Hopefully we'll see that together on a different route one day. Anyway, bring the car forward. Notice we're on a dual carriageway. However, contrary to the rules, we've got two lanes. We're going to stay in the right hand lane because this two lane dual carriageway quickly merges back into a single lane carriageway, so there's just no point going into the left there. We had the deflection arrows telling us to stay to the right as well, about halfway along there, so it was hardly worth positioning left. We're turning right at the roundabout, so mirrors, looking nice and early onto that roundabout, looking for a way to get on there without stopping if we can. I'm going to stop steering now and I'm going to put my left signal on as I'm halfway past there. Now we're going to stay in lane 1. If you do catch yourself in lane 2, it's not the end of the world, although it's not quite correct. You just need to proceed back to the left hand side, back to lane 1 as soon as possible. So you need a good reason to be in lane 2. As long as you move back though, you're going to be okay. We've got roadwork signs telling everybody now that lane 2 is blocked off anyway. So mirror, got the Audi coming past us now. I'm just taking my time. I'm in no particular rush, and you shouldn't be in a rush either on your driving test. You might be feeling a bit uptight, but just take a nice deep breath, because if you rush through it, you're likely to make mistakes. We're following the road ahead here, 3 lanes. Lane 1 is left only, so you will be following the road ahead. It's advisable to use the middle lane, which is this one, and this becomes the left side on the roundabout. We're checking the near side mirror. Normally you'd be spiralling across over into that left hand side, but we can't do that until after the cones there. And in fact, I'm staying over here away from that cyclist today, and then, only then, am I moving back to lane 1. So that was a good reason why we should have stayed in lane 2. Things like that are allowed, of course. Safety first. Lights are on red. I can see brake lights ahead, so that's an observation link where you're just using the information from the vehicle in front to tell us what to do next. I'm just holding the car back. Lights is just changing, everyone's sorting themselves out, and I can now bring the car forward. If I'm not touching the brakes all the time, if I'm not accelerating all the time, I'm driving much more efficiently, so it's going to be much cheaper. I'm not wasting fuel. What you don't want is a proliferation of gas and brake. It's very uncomfortable for everybody in the car, and you're going to just wear your vehicle out and waste fuel. So again, we're getting up to that light controlled roundabout ahead. lights are currently on green. They've been on green a little while. I'm expecting a change now, so I'm already off the gas, covering the clutch and the brake. I'm ready to stop. I'm going to take third gear here. Here we go. Notice, because I'd seen the traffic lights on green for a while, I'm already planning to slow down. I don't want to chance being on top of the traffic lights or even accelerating as I'm getting closer to the traffic lights and then having to abort. Check this near side mirror for people in lane 1. Make sure they are turning left. Protect yourself from an impact. People should turn left, but they may not. Okay, I've got my eye on the person in the high vis jacket on the bicycle now. Nobody to signal for. Taking the car up to 40. I'm resting the engine with 5th gear now, just to drive more economically, of course. You do see people belt down this road. It's not a good idea to. You've got to protect your license. Remember, if you get 6 points in the first 2 years of passing your driving test, you're going to have to do your test again, and quite possibly it will be an extended test, which is a trickier thing to pass. This, of course, this dual carriageway is restricted to 40 until we get over the brow of the hill, because we've got a junction on the near side there, which could pose a serious problem if someone's pulling out in front of you and you're going faster than you should be, like this here. So mirrors, and now I can gently accelerate. We've got the BMW in lane 2. We are going to be turning right soon, so I'm not going to be making any effort to go faster, else I'll be on top of the junction there without being in the correct lane. So now I'm going to put the signal on and gently move over to lane 2. We're going to be turning right, so mirrors. Signals going on now because the Mercedes behind me is starting to close the gap up a little bit. I'm assessing the roundabout to see if I can keep the car moving. I'm checking the near side mirror already so that I can start spiralling across the road confidently without worrying about side swiping somebody. And I'm going up this road. I'm taking things carefully, of course. It's a very bumpy road, loads of potholes all over the place, and we've got the car park on the near side. Although pubs is shut right now, somebody might be using that car park for practice, I don't know. So I'm just taking my time, and when we get to the end of the road, we're turning left at the bridge there. This is one that people often panic about. I might cover this one in more depth at some point, but we always take it in first gear because it's a closed junction, we can't see. Doesn't mean stop though. We're just taking first gear, gently lifting the clutch to the bike before the car stops, and just feathering the clutch gently up and down so that we can keep complete control of the situation. What we don't want to do is rush that one. You certainly don't need to stop unless you have to. So that's a skill you need to practice well with your instructor. Turning right. Just minding the pothole there. Very bumpy. And mirrors, a little bit of acceleration. Just 40 at the moment. No one behind us. I'm just taking my time. We're going to be turning right shortly. So we've got the sign there for the staggered crossroads, mirrors, signals going on reasonably early. I'm not going to position too early in the box in case someone was turning right. Into this little area now for the protected right turn, first gear, and complete the turn. Third gear and fourth. we got fresh horse poo on the road there. There's horse manure there. Doesn't look like anybody's been through it yet, so you may see horses further up ahead. Let's just drive a little bit cautiously. We don't want to alarm the horse if we see it. I'm just going to pinch a little bit of the other side of the road. No more than 50% of this side of the road you should take. You need to be able to get back quickly if something is approaching you. Can't see the horse yet, but I'm going to slow down because it might just be around the next bend. I don't know. So I'm just being very cautious. Turning left. Treat the road markings there like a curb, i.e. don't touch them. Okay, a little bit of acceleration, looking as far as I can around that right hand bend, looking for a horse in particular. Can't see one yet. Mirror. Covering the brake just in case I see something. Okay, it all looks good to me. We're coming to the finish line now, so mirrors, signals going on, reducing the speed, get the gear, and we are done. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, please leave your comments, your questions down below. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.